back into game mode?
Yeah, 100%. Really excited to play tonight.
Where are you feeling in terms of, like, if the regular season started tomorrow, do you think you're up to speed?
Yeah, I think so. I've been feeling really good the whole training camp, and been really excited to play those games. And it's always fun playing hockey. So we have 2 more preseason games, and we have still lots of time, and but we gotta get going here.
How much of an emphasis is on your 5-on-5 scoring for these last couple of preseason games?
Yeah, I've been creating chances, getting in around the net, rounding out my game, and still have to play good defensively. So I try and do that.
What's the biggest difference when you have Fifi and Zetterlund on your line with Brady compared to when you have Claude on that top line?
Both of them are great hockey players, and I think they play a pretty similar game. I think Z's more of a shooter, G's more of a passer, and but they're both hell of hockey players, and I love playing with both of them.
Why is that a tough question to answer? You've paused a little bit.
No, because he acted like one guy's better than the other.
Whoa,
So.
whoa. No. I didn't do that. That's not what I did.
Curious.
No.
Tim, do you have plans to watch Brady's episode of the Amazon show when it comes out tomorrow?
Probably. I would hope so. Schedule's been really, really tough. We've practiced a lot, had a lot of things going on in Quebec, but now that we're back home, I think there's going to be some time.
This team seems to be a lot more in the spotlight the past couple of years, especially last year. It just seems like he's a pretty good ambassador for this team. What's your view on him, like being a leader and being like the face of this organization, especially with like a show like that?
Yeah, it's awesome. I got a chance to be with him doing that show as well. It was fun. We had a great dinner. I don't know if I made it, but no, he's been awesome. He's been really great. I think he excelled in that leader role as well. I think he gets better every year, and he's still a very young guy, so he's still learning like we all do. And but I think he's really taken it to heart. That maybe if there's some times where he's got to be better, and he really did. He stepped up huge every time he's on the ice, has his teammates back every game, and it's been awesome to watch.
Sorry, at the premiere last week, he was asked like what teammates he'd like to see do it next. Would you be interested at all? Is that something?
Well, I don't know. I think. We'll see. We'll see his show and then see how it pans out. But I think it's a huge honor for him as well. Following him around, Amazon is a pretty big show, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Tim, what were you and Brady working on out there early today?
Not a whole lot. Just kind of passing and finding each other. I think that's going to be a huge part, and putting on the tape and executing. But we're just kind of passing around, shooting a couple of pucks. So it wasn't anything we worked on specifically.
We also see Brady often. We know he fights in this game. We know he's got a lot of roles that he can play for your team. How valuable would it be for the Senators to have somebody else who can kind of step into that instigator role, especially after a game like Montreal Canadiens on Tuesday?
Yeah, we don't really want Brady fighting all the time and being the guy who has to step in. And I think we have a pretty tough team. I don't really want to get into what happened the other night, but we have a pretty tough team. A lot of guys stepped up, had each other's backs, and it's a preseason game. So.
Is it good to have a lot of guys who can step up, though, or is it good if you just have one guy on the team who can do it?
No, I think there's. I don't know. It's a tough question. I think every team builds their team the way they want to build their team, and I think we are built the right way. I think we know what we have in this room. I think we still have a lot of tough guys. My first year coming in, I think we might have had 7 tough guys who would fight all the time, and for me it was great. But I think, like I said, I think we have a bunch of tough guys, and but also we want to play hockey, and it's part of the game. We all know that, and. But we got to focus on ourselves and do what we have to do, and don't get into that.
When a game like that happens in preseason, is it fun for you to watch when you're in the press box? Like, what goes through your mind when you see all this craziness happening?
Yeah, we lost 5-0. I don't think it's fun for anyone to watch on our team. We want to win hockey games. That's what it comes down to, and I don't want any of my teammates to get punched either. It's not fun to watch, and. But I thought what was fun was that everybody stepped in for each other. Everybody was there to help each other, we knew they're a tough team, and we just got to play hockey.
Tim, you mentioned several times since last season you're trying to make a concerted effort to shoot the puck more through the preseason. It looks like you are making that effort. How is that finding that balance between passing and shooting right now?
Yeah, I think it's just staying consistent with it. I feel like if you have that shooter first mentality, I'm gonna make the right play, and I just gotta shoot the puck more and find the back of the net.
I know it's preseason.
Yeah. I just think, obviously, it's a bit of a rivalry there. Some guys are trying to make the team, make a presence, and stuff happens in a hockey game that sometimes you can't control. And, it just got emotional, I think. More emotional than you would think for preseason, but, it's hockey, so it's going to happen sometimes.
At any point were you trying to join in on the fun? Or?
If I was on the ice and, a guy was taking advantage of our guy, I would have tried to step in, but, I wasn't on the ice for any of the altercations, so, I didn't get really a chance to. Not that I'm much of a fighter, but.
2 years in a row with these guys in preseason.
Yeah.
What kind of sparks this? Is there any particular thing that someone does?
No, I think it's just emotion. I think, you got two teams that are kind of on the same trajectory and kind of where we're at in terms of the team. And we got young guys that are skilled, and, we got some guys that could fight. And I don't know. I don't know if it's close to, we're Ontario, and they're right there as well. So I don't know. It's just what it is. It's going to happen, and we'll see what happens Saturday.
I know you played with a couple different lineups
Yeah.
in preseason, but how much chemistry do you have right now with a guy like Michael Amadio and Ridley Craig from last season?
Yeah, obviously, super comfortable with them. I think me and Mikey has played all preseason so far, so I'm obviously very comfortable with him. And Rids, once we get out there, we're on the same page usually right away. So, obviously we have good chemistry, and we'll see how it starts. But I love playing with those guys.
How much is it maybe for you like this season as a line, if you are a line?
Yeah,
You
sorry.
want to try to. You guys are on the defensive side, but how much is an emphasis to try to score a little bit more as well?
Yeah, I think as the year went on last year, I think, we obviously were focusing on defense, but I think we started to realize that we can poach a little bit for offense because, those top guys maybe don't want to play defense as much. And I think as the year went on, we kind of try to take advantage of that. So it takes some time to learn that. I think we've learned that, so hopefully we can use that this year to our advantage.
What's the challenge when you're like? I think if you look at the sets, you're starting in the defensive zone all the time.
Yeah.
How hard is it, and what's maybe the mindset when you know you're kind of in your own end to begin shifts?
Yeah, I think, the main mindset when you go out there is just try to get the puck out of the zone, get it to the neutral zone or the offensive zone, and whatever happens from there, you kind of go from there. But you just try to think of it as just get the puck out of the zone. That's your job, and that'll be the same mindset this year.
Looks, I know it's just the preseason, but
Yeah.
it looked early on, like you're playing with a lot of poise and confidence
Yeah.
with the puck on your stick. It seems like you're holding on to it a little
Yeah.
bit longer. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I feel great. I think, coming in, I felt stronger. I know each year you say it, but I do feel much stronger this year. And every year you come in, you have more confidence, and you realize you might have a little bit more time than you think. And I think I've learned that this year. And, I think I'm going to bring that into the preseason, try to make some more plays and create some more offense for us.
How much do you feel like the game kind of slows down now that you're heading into your fourth season?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. I think, when you come in, you're kind of, I don't want to say on your heels, but you're just trying to not make a mistake and just trying to get a feel of the league. And I think as the years go on, you start to realize that there is plays to be made. You have a lot of good players around you, and there might be a little bit more time than you think. And, I think as the years go on, you just try to figure out, to pick and choose your spots, and I think I've continued to learn that.
Last season you weren't really on the power play
Yeah.
a lot at the end. It seems like you will be or might be this season.
Yeah.
How difficult is it to be playing so many minutes like on the PK, obviously 5-on-5? Like what's that challenge like to kind of be proficient at all of those?
Yeah, I'm a young kid, so I think I have young legs, so I could do it. So I think that's what you work out in the summer for. You get ready for each season. You want to play as many minutes as possible. I think that's just the competitiveness inside you, and I'll be ready either way. Whatever he wants me to do, I'll do, and that's my mindset.
How much do you take away from or is it how much do you take away from being on PK that you can maybe know how to pick your spots on power play as well because you know what it's like to be on the other side?
Yeah, no, I think that was a big thing last year. I think I learned a lot sitting there, kind of obviously playing the PK, but watching too, you learn a lot of things from guys like Timmy, Drake, Brady. G's such a great power play player, so I think when you sit there, you learn and try to take a few things from it and hopefully implement into your game.
So you're renowned for your defensive aptitude.
Yeah.
You've got a great shot. You can score some goals.
Yeah.
Do you ever concern yourself with like becoming maybe a bit of a playmaker or like contributing the puck a little bit? Like,
Yeah, I think especially this year, I think we need to score a little bit more. I think 5-on-5, and I think center ice is a pretty important position, and you got to distribute as a center iceman. So I'm going to try my best, but I'm not going to change my game either. So I think try to do it a little bit this year, but I'm just going to continue to play my game, and if that results in maybe making a few more plays, then so be it.
so I've talked to Timmy about it, like balancing that shoot first or
Yeah.
pass first mentality. Like, as a young player in the league, like how do you balance that?
Yeah, it's tough. I think it's so different every game. You just try to trust your instincts. You can't really think as much as when you're out there, it's going so fast, and you try to just trust your instincts, and hopefully that's the right decision. Sometimes it's not, but it is a little bit of a mindset. But at the same time, you got to trust yourself and trust the plays you're making.
Just about Saturday, like I know nobody's afraid of anything on
Yeah,
campus, but how different is preparation for a game like this when you expect maybe there's going to be some more stuff? You need to protect yourself more when you go in the corner. Or
No, I don't know. I'm not going to look too much into it. It was one game. I think, there's obviously going to be a little emotion, but guys are trying to get ready for a season too. It's not the real season. I think there's going to be hopefully a mutual understanding that we want to get ready for the season, but if there is physicality, like you got to be ready for it like any other game.
How does it help you when you have Brady Tkachuk on your left side? And,
Yeah.
Things are happening out there.
Yeah, he'll stick up for anyone. I think everyone knows that, and our whole team will. I think we have guys that we have each other's back. So I don't think we're going to let anyone take advantage of each other. But like I said, I think everyone has each other's backs.
It's a short visit, always good to get home.
Yeah, I'm excited. Just see some family, see some friends, and like you said, it's very short. So make as much time as we possibly can. But it's always nice going home and playing. It doesn't matter preseason, regular season. I'm really excited about it.
What kind of game do you expect here tonight? Blues have a pretty good lineup themselves.
I mean, it's getting to that point now where it's going to be as close to regular season as possible, and for us, it's opportunity just to get our game exactly where it needs to be. So I'm expected to be a fun one. Of course, you go into, especially going home, want to win, and so I'm really excited about tonight.
On trips to St. Louis, obviously you have to do everything you can to focus on the game ahead. But what's it like managing that, but also knowing you want to spend time with family and friends, and who wants tickets and who wants to see you in this and that?
Very fortunate where, of course, with our family in the Blues, there's so many close ties, and they've always been very helpful and stuff like that. And so, it means it's a part of it, just getting everything organized. It's not that. It's not distracting. I'm more excited just to get back. Don't think I'd be fortunate enough to play in preseason back in St. Louis. So, an extra trip there is always special.
How close are you feeling to just being in season form?
Feeling really solid, to be honest with you. I think every day just keep getting better and better, and tonight's another opportunity just to fine tune some details, and especially against basically their full lineup. Just it's going to be grind out there, and everybody's got the same mindset, same thought process about just getting into game shape, and expect tonight to be a fun one, competitive one, and that's going to be something I'm looking forward to.
Do you know if this is going to be your last preseason game, or if you're also going to be playing Saturday?
I don't know yet. Kind of prepared for anything. So, the more games you play, the more you get ready. And but if this is the last game, then take advantage of all the ice time, all the details, and make sure my game is exactly where it needs to be.
Do you think you need another game on Saturday, or do you think this would be enough?
I feel great right now. So, whether it's one more, two more. If I wasn't playing tonight, I feel like I'm ready to go. And all these games are extra opportunities to make sure of that.
preseason, is it?
It was eventful, that's for sure. It's things like that happen in exhibition, preseason, where guys kind of do whatever it takes to make their impact on a game. So it's not the first one, probably won't be the last one. So just leave it as very eventful.
As somebody who has been an instigator, would it be helpful to have somebody else in the team to kind of step up and do that for the team sometimes?
It's of course it falls a little bit. That's a part of who I am, part of my game, and I think as a group, I think it's starting to become collective and a team identity where we've been hard to play against, and we're not afraid or shy of it. But I think just with Tuesday, I think there's learning opportunities within that game that are going to make us better, and events like that we always have each other's backs.
You and Timmy were out there pretty early. How much chemistry are you guys working on? You've played together for so long, but what's the extra work you're putting in?
I think, for us, I know we have levels to get to individually, and I think, for both of us, we're still improving, individually and together. And I think, for us is, just little things like that. It's just nice to get out there, feel the puck. But, with him, I feel like, for the both of us, there's levels that we can get to, and I know that we're confident in each other that we will get there.
When you play on a line with Tim Stützle and Fabian Zetterlund, what's the biggest difference when those three are together compared to when you have Claude Giroux on that right side?
You know what? I think that's what makes our group special is that, everybody can play with anybody, and everybody's got a different skill set, different way they think the game, and I think that's just, for us as a group and the depth that we have, that I think that's what's going to make our team kind of the deciding factor is that we can play it with everybody on our roster and make an impact on the game as well.
So what is it about Fabian's skill set that works with you two?
It's just I think it showed. We played a couple games last year, and just he's just so good at finding pockets of the ice, his speed, and the way he shoots it is special. And with G, it's he's so smart and he can think the game like nobody else. So I think it's great that we have options, and now everybody can do their job to the best of their ability.
Brady, with the Amazon show coming out tomorrow, is there a different level of anticipation compared to the premiere to see what the general population thinks of your episode?
There's probably going to be people that don't like me or just going into it, not like that episode, but like all the other ones. So, I think they did such an amazing job, and just for that to come out, I know I'll be watching it, and I bet some of the guys will be watching it too. So I think, it was great, and it was a great experience, and I think everybody's going to love the whole season.
Is there a plan to watch it with any of the teammates, or have they mentioned that it's on their calendar?
Probably not. They'll probably watch it and let me know Saturday or text me. So work on my acting skills is probably where they're going to go with.
You mentioned, your reasoning for doing it had to do a lot with, wanting to show a different side of you and grow the game in a different way. I'm wondering, that phrase seems to be something that we hear from a lot of people across sports in your position. It seems somewhat ambiguous. I wonder what growing the game means specifically to you.
For me, it's reaching an audience that wasn't a hockey fan before, that became hockey fans, and for me, growing the game means leaving the game in a better spot than you found it, and whether that's attracting new fans, the next best player in 20 years watches one of this and dedicates his life to being a hockey player. I think that's what it's all about.
Coach, any updates on lineup tonight? Starting contender.
Levy's playing tonight. You saw the lines that are playing. Yeah. Yep.
What are you looking for? 2 preseason games left. Are you going to do 2 different lineups for these last 2 games? What's the priority tonight?
Well, we'll have to have 2 different lineups. We don't have enough players for not to play the same lineup. We're not going to play the same lineup we played tonight in Montreal. We're just looking for different things for different players. Some guys are on the team, obviously, either on top of their game or trying to find their game still as you ramp up to regular season. And some guys are here for experience for tonight's game as well, that they know they're not going to be on the team, but we're giving them a game. And then there's guys that we're still making decisions on. So it's a little bit different for every player, a little bit.
Sorry to cut you off. I know they got a couple games together last year, but what are you looking into with the Tkachuk, Stützle?
Yeah, I think they played a fair amount together last year. They played well together too. So we could very well start that way. I'm not sure yet, but obviously with Drake being out, has maybe changed some of our thought process as far as putting our lines together, not knowing if Drake's going to be in or not. But Z with Cousins thought it made sense, and we'll see where it ends up at the end of the day, much like I said at the beginning of camp.
does that dynamic change, having a player like Fabian who has a shot, can go to the front of the net, compared to what the line is like when Cloutier is?
Different look, more speed, little, different players. Obviously, G's a real smart player too and does a lot of good things, and Zetterlund's still kind of coming into his own, developing his what he's going to be in the NHL, and we're still learning about him as well.
I know it's just preseason and the lineups are here and there, but how do you want your team to maybe generate more at 5-on-5? Like, how can you?
Well, we've done a lot of work with it. We haven't really had our full team together yet. I think there's been moments where I've actually seen some good stuff. The one game, I think we had 16 or 17 scoring chances, and I don't know if we got a goal even. But, we touched on it the other day, Bruce, where you said, like, how do you score? And I made a joke about getting the puck across the line. Sometimes you can get it right there, but you got to score. And but it's a work in progress for sure, and it's something that we're aware of. But I have seen our team game offensively take some strides. I just don't think we've scored.
Have you already put in any thoughts about how you were going to approach Saturday's game, considering the way the last game went last year as well?
We put thought into every exhibition game starting from the summer, and we adjust accordingly as the games go on.
How do you plan to approach in terms of how physical these games seems to be with Montreal?
I have an idea of who's going to play. I'll probably talk more about the Montreal game when the Montreal game comes. But as far as the game the other night, if it's going to affect our decision, not a lot. I think you look at the game the other night, and I know people are talking about it a bit, but it was a physical, hard game, and we've got some guys they're also on the bubble trying to make the team. Unique's trying to make the team, Hodgson, Mack, Sabrango, and they're physical players. I said after the game I didn't like the hit that Hodgson made, and I think it's a hit he shouldn't make. I also said I didn't like the cross-check in the face. I didn't like the guy coming from the bench to fight, and I didn't like the way Dodge handled the fight with Doc. But it's exhibition. Things get out of hand a little bit sometimes in the heat of the moment. It wasn't a game that we were going in hoping to have a bunch of fights. They've got a few tough guys on their team too. But when guys are trying to make the team, they're emotional players. Sometimes things cross the line a little bit, and that happens. That's part of hockey. You've seen it a lot. But it was, it's not something you want to see all the time. And we want to get through to the regular season, but some of those guys are going to play again because we have to make decisions on them and see if they can play and where they fit into our team, and if they can have control as well.
Travis, how important is a role like that, an instigator role on this team?
What do you mean an instigator role? I don't know what role that is. I think, go on.
Somebody who's just going to be tough and step up to a fight if needed. Is that a role that you're looking for on this team, or is that just a role that somebody could also
Well, first of all, I think we have guys that'll step up and fight. I think we showed that the other night in spades. So am I looking for that, are you asking?
Yeah, I'm just asking.
Yeah,
So
I think we have guys that'll fight. I'm not worried about that at all. I think team toughness comes in many ways as well. It's really not just about fighting. I mean, if you look at the NHL, I think the number is 82%, they told us, in the regular season of the games that don't have a fight. In the playoffs, might be 95, 92 or something like that. Fighting is, it's dwindling fast in the NHL, but team toughness is another aspect of the game. You watch playoff hockey and how hard it is, how physical it is. And that's the exciting part of our game. The physicality is part of the excitement. Winning a puck battle, getting in front of the net, scratching and clawing to score, scratching and clawing to win. And that's, sacrificing, being courageous. That's team toughness. And I think we've taken a step in that area. And the further you get, the tougher, call it team toughness, you got to have, the harder you got to play. It's not easy to win a Stanley Cup. And they all kind of play together, roll into one. You got to have skill, you got to have team toughness, you got to have a lot of things to win.
Has that, as a coach, like you've been coaching for the last 15, 20 years, how has that changed your approach as a coach with fighting going down?
Yeah, I don't think it's changed a lot since I've started coaching or playing. I mean, the game is physical. The game is hard. There is fighting allowed in the game as well. It's not illegal. You don't get suspended for fighting. And that's part of our game, but it is obviously dwindling. And the game has never been better, I will say that. The speed of the game, the skill of the players, it's amazing to watch. But when you watch Stanley Cup finals, there's time and space is taken away very quickly, and if you don't play courageously and you don't go to hard areas, you do not win.
So what do you think of, maybe it's a bit similar to Alex, but what do you think of the evolution of those types of players, where maybe back when you were still playing, you would see a lot more of those guys who would just be in the lineup more to fight, but you need more of those guys nowadays to be able to contribute at both ends of the ice too.
I don't think there's any guys in the league that are in that role that can't play.
That's my point. It's not so much that, like, you don't just put an enforcer in a game just to fight. They need to play.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think of how that's evolved over the last few years?
Yeah, I think it's great. Like I just finished saying, I think the game's never been better. I mean, I love watching hockey myself. Like, it's a fun sport to watch, and yet it's still physical. It's still hard. You still have to be brave. I think people don't understand that you can be a really skilled player, but you still have to be tough to win. Connor McDavid's tough. Like, he goes to hard places, but fighting is dwindling, but it's still in the game, and I don't see anything wrong with that.
It was about a year ago when we asked you about Brady and fighting, and he's kind of toned that part of his game down. He still does it. Did you like where he kind of ended up last season in terms of the balance of sometimes getting into those spots?
I kind of stand by what I said last year. I'm not going to ask Brady to not be who he is. I love what he is. I love who he is. I think our team really likes him the way he is too. And he's a tough hockey player, and he's a good hockey player. And there's not a lot of guys in the league that how do I word it? Play in that position at the top of your lineup and are as tough as him, and that's very rare in today's game. They usually play near the bottom of the lineup, and I think he's gotten a lot better at having emotional control, picking his spots. But I'm not asking him to not be Brady.
How much does that trickle down to the rest of the group when your best player, captain, is going to the hard areas?
Yeah, I think it does trickle. I mean, I think your captain, Brady's done a good job of maturing as a player and being in emotional control, but also understanding, that his play rubs off on other players as well. And it's hard to win in the NHL. Like, if you're not tough or you're not hard, you're not winning. Like, you're just not. And being tough and hard can come in many different ways. You can be really skilled and have those elements in your game as well. And you can be a guy that fights a lot and have those elements. So everyone has a role to play, and but it's something that's dwindling. Fighting is dwindling in the NHL.
So you would say that you have enough elements that transcend what the captain is as a player?
I'm not understanding what you're saying or asking.
Well, you cannot have a copy of Brady Tkachuk, but the kind of player that he plays, like the iron, the roughness, and all that. Do you have enough
I don't think there's. How many players are like that in the league?
Not a lot.
Guess.
Probably.
If you got another one we can get, I'd love to get him.
I understand.
Like.
But there's an influence. We're talking about the captain, the kind of like you have enough players that transcend that kind of game.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we have 10 other Brady Tkachuks. I don't think there's 10 other in the league. But I think our team is, more than willing to, getting better or harder to play against as we've improved as a team. That's part of it as well. I think that's answering your question. I'm not sure.
Anything else for Coach?
Just one more. At 5-on-5 earlier, you referenced some encouraging signs despite the lack of production. Just on the penalty kill, you guys have allowed 6 power play goals in your 4 games. Have you seen encouraging signs for your penalty kill?
Yeah, I think we'll know more a little when we get to our group. You know, I think we've had some games where there's been some new guys, obviously a lot of new guys killing. I think the other night we were shorthanded for 22 minutes, so that was like 10 power plays or whatever it was. Seen some signs that it's coming, but also a lot of new players that you probably won't all see in the regular season either. And we haven't had our full D-core in a lineup yet, so seen some good things, but the true test will come when we start.
Is there any update on Drake just before you go?
Skated today, so that's about all I can give.
And any plans on getting Eller and Jensen into a
Hopefully,
game?
yeah, hoping they play Saturday, but we'll see.
Thank you, Travis.
Okay, guys.
Thanks, Travis.